behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. Another great interview is coming your way shortly, but before we begin, if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button and bell button, and you'll always be notified of any new episodes coming your way. And leave a comment on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you there. And check the description as well as the closing credits at the end of the show. We'll have contact info for you, so I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Wilson, North Carolina, we have Kimberly Ward. This is the second time she's been on our show. And I think you're going to love the update she has for us. And we'll get to that in a second. But first, we have a quick word from the Caden Gordon Show and Woody's Drumsticks. And if you type Paul Mash TV on all capital letters at the checkout, you're going to get 10% off your order. So I hope you'll do that for us. Anyway, here we are with the commercials, and we'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
At Woody's Drumsticks, we focus all of our sticks on being a hair longer than everybody else's. Why? Well, all of our sticks are going to be going through the same quality control process as every other stick on the planet. However, the extra length gives you an extended reach, so you can reach for higher cymbals. It makes the sticks last a little longer. We put our shorter taper at the end, which gives more girth in the base of the stick and allows you to play for longer, better, stronger, faster. So once you switch from one brand to Woody's, you'll never go back, and that's a guarantee.
Okay, we're back, and with us for the second time on our show, we have Kimberly Ward. Thanks for coming back on the show, Kimberly.
Thank you. Hi, Paul. It's nice being here with you. Good evening.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you back. It's been about a year or so, I think, and so I'm glad to have you back here. Why don't we start by asking you about some of the things you've been up to since last time? I mean, I'm sure you've had a few things happen.
Well, I've had quite an adventurous year and a half between music, family, and of course, business and just everything. But as far as music goes, I'm sure you want to hear about that mostly. I have worked on, I've worked on several new songs in the last year and a half. I have worked on some personal goals, some new record labels, speaking with them, a lot of things. I've been to the ISSA live, the live show, which is August every year in Atlanta, Georgia. Been to Nashville, Tennessee twice since December, which was just December and then March. And that's where I want to take you real quick. So I just finished up the video I did for my song Every Moment. And that just came out about 4 weeks ago, the end of March. And Every Moment is actually one of my favorite songs I've written. I've done a remix on it because the first version Joan Burton sang. And that's almost been 6 years ago. And then the version you've probably heard is the one that I sang about, I think it was May 2024, so 2 years ago.
All right. Well, it's a great song, and we'll get to that in a few minutes, of course. You got any, like concert dates you want to talk about in case you're in the area and people might want to check you out?
Okay, great. Well, most of my singing in the past year and a half has actually been done in Nashville. I had the last 2 summers, I stayed there about a week, probably more like 9 or 10 days. And of course, I did some karaoke like most artists do, but I also sang at the Troubadour Theater, Hendersonville, North Carolina. Well, there is a Hendersonville. Let me get the right state. Help me. Anyway, Hendersonville, Tennessee. It gets confusing because both states have some of the same cities. It's fun. Anyway, there's a Hendersonville, Tennessee, and it's about 30 minutes from Nashville. There's a cafe there I've gone to, and like Caden introduced me to the owner, and a lot of artists went. And so they had a keyboard there, and I was able to sing about an hour and a half. And there's been a lot I've done with music the last year and a half besides writing. And then other live shows have just been in churches. I've been asked to sing and play in 3 churches, and that includes North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. And I mean, there's some real good news I'm about to announce in May and June, so that part I'm gonna hold off, but it's music and where I'll be at. Now I have a website that doesn't list all the live shows because I need to update it. But on Facebook, Instagram, and of course TikTok, I'm on TikTok now. I do a lot of the shows and I'll go ahead and say where I'm at or hey, I'm in Virginia, things like that. And I have been asked to sing and play in Alabama.
Oh,
That's probably more of a fall event.
hmm. Okay. Well, check her out on Facebook and all everywhere else. You got an official website as well, right?
Yes, I do. I have a
Well, tell us about that. Is it KimberlyWard.com?
You got a good guess. It's actually www.kjwardmusic.com.
Oh, okay. Well, check them on there. I'm sure all our concert dates will be updated quite often, and you want to check that out. And of course, she's on streaming media as well, like Amazon Music and so forth. So go ahead and check her out there. And this song, "Every Moment," it's like we were talking about. It's a really great song. I'm sure it's self-explanatory, or is it like a story behind that? Tell us about that.
Okay, well, I wrote it actually to be poetry, and this goes back to like 2019, 2018 and 2019. Actually, it's been a while. And some of my songs did start out as a poem or just, just writing. We all write down things. And it just came to me more than poetry back in 2019 and 2020. So, as far as why I wrote it, that could be a whole hour. So, I'll give you the short summary. Don't worry. It's like a whole hour. To summarize a few things in my life where, I mean, some of it was like depression and hard times, and then some things was just like a few close friends walked out on my life at a bad time. I mean, most of the time we want to have a lifelong friendship, and then sometimes people walk out or they, stop calling, things like that. This actually ended up being a childhood friend. I'll just leave it at that, but it was a little hurtful. And which, by the way, since now we have reconnected some, so that's been good. But we all go through things in life where we can't always be there for each other. Let me clarify. So, some are good, some are bad times, some are like weddings, some are funerals, a baby or college graduation. But then there's times where you really just need someone to talk to and get advice, and we're not just talking about doctors here and pastors. We're talking actually people you can relate with. So I wrote it because some things are very hurtful and things happen and just life changes, like one of the country songs called Life Changes. But actually, it's turned out to be a good thing, Paul, because a lot of stations have really picked up on this song, and it makes me feel good as a writer because it's not like, oh, hey, they just heard about some hard times and this is a great song. I've just had to overcome a lot in my life where I can pick up and keep going, moving forward.
Well, that's a great story behind that song, and as I mentioned a couple of times already, I love it, and I think you guys are really going to love it too. And we'll be getting to that in a second. But before we get into that, thank you again, Kimberly, for coming on the show. You're always welcome back anytime you want to plug something new.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And here it is, "Every Moment" by Kimberly Ward. It begins right now.
As I struggle through the years and the burdens hit me hard, seemed I had nothing but tears, yet you were there all the time. I stayed on this journey by faith, knowing things would get better, only to find out my path had to go down even deeper. Every moment I felt fear, for every time it was gonna drown, yet you were there all the time.